You guys, my brother, you know,
Helicopter, helicopter.
needs a PC. So here I am gonna build him one. So what do I build him? I surely can't build him a PC of my quality. And I would absolutely hate for him to have one better than my girlfriend's. But more on that later, it could use a little updating. So, I have some random parts laying around that I've been dying to use. I've really gotten to the hobby of building PCs, so I have some scrap parts that need a home, and I don't quite know where to put them yet. I had recently won an auction for a pre-built HP PC for $30. I couldn't believe it. It's an AM4 based PC, so this should actually play nicely with what I have for accessories. My next amalgamation of parts actually happens to be a PC that I built for couch gaming. Either one of these PCs is actually a perfect candidate to put into my brother's system. Well, budget-wise anyway. So let's get to work. I'm starting off with my girlfriend's PC so she can get back to playing Woolhaven or whatever little indie game that she happens to be into at this moment in time. And let's just say, that wiring was a mess. I ended up upgrading the PSU to a 650 watt power supply, which should be plenty for anything that she's needing. After dealing with the wiring, and especially that second screen, I hated having to run the cords to the outside of the case for that one. I found a nice way to mount the screen, good way to attach the cable extensions and all, and I'd say it actually turned out pretty nice. Up next was my brother's PC. But what do I use? Secondly, what do I need for it? I have a bunch of parts, but until you start putting a list together, I really didn't know what I was going to use. Being the good brother that I am, obviously I have to give him the best parts that I have available to me, right? Well, maybe not the best, but surely they'll be playable. So, what do I need? I have the CPU, I have the RAM, I have a power supply. What else could I be needing? Just the expensive parts, I guess. I need storage, I need a graphics card, and I forgot to mention, I do have a motherboard. After the graphics card in, of course I've got to test it, so I slapped it in my computer here and began to test away for frames per second and, different benchmarks in one of the games that we play quite a bit. The video in the background of this whole video here actually has been gameplay from the 2080 Super with my 7900X main PC. I was quite impressed with this little card, and having no bottleneck, of course, this is going to make for one heck of a gaming PC. Ah, shoot. What am I going to put all this in? He needs a cool case. One of the cooler ones I found that actually was a decent price actually happened to be the CLX Sphinx in white. I decided to go with white just for that black and white, a little theme build going on. Well, when everything was all said and done, I got it all put together, and I think it turned out pretty nice. With some fine-tuning and ultra-performance DLSS, I was able to get right around 180 frames per second at 4K. Pretty impressive if you ask me. With my brother's build done, now what? What else do I have parts for? Did you see that shot? Okay, back to PCs. Well, how about my couch PC or the server PC? Before my budget build, let's talk about my server PC. Now, its main job is to host my Plex Media server as well as a Pi-hole ad blocker, which is kind of a neat little thing, but frankly, the stats of this computer weren't all too impressive. With all the proprietary connections and limitations based mostly on that, I actually couldn't do a bunch to this PC because it's got the Erica 2 motherboard that's locked down, I can't overclock the RAM, and just in general, it was decently tough to fit everything within the stock case. So, after a small list of upgrades, how does it do? Well, being that it took a big leap in CPU performance and actually has a graphics card now, this can actually game itself. Check it out.
Changing mags!
So with that done, that just leaves one more. My couch PC. And frankly, this is the one that actually started this whole project, not my brother's PC. This one's actually going to take some explaining. So what kicked it off is I watched a video here on YouTube that had this CPU under $10, and it did pretty decent for gaming. It was the Xeon E5 2667 V3. It's a server-grade PC, and it's quite old, but it's still pretty capable. And as advertised, it was under $10 shipped. I set that up with a cheap M99 motherboard that accepted DDR4, and we were off to the races. I had a slight concern putting such an old CPU in there that I was wondering if it was going to be capable with the 2060 I had. Note this is only the 6GB variant, so I was a little on edge on how well it would actually work and, you know, sometimes do emulation or Steam games. As you can see, it did just fine. So after getting that PC all configured and put together, there really wasn't much else to do but put on Bazite. Fortunately, I can't get any more COD clips because of the anti-cheat. Anti-cheat and Linux really don't like each other, or at least for now. It's not a perfect system, but with our couch PC we can play the likes of Hogwarts Legacy, Brawlhalla, and even Digimon Story Time Stranger, which is a personal favorite. Overall, it was just kind of a fun challenge for me, something to keep my mind just busy in a hobby that I've been enjoying quite a lot. If you enjoyed this, or just have more questions, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll try to answer any questions that you might have. But for now, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching, as always.